The moment you start acting like you were meant to win, your life starts moving in a different direction. This isn't about faking confidence, it's about making a decision to carry yourself with strength, even when life feels uncertain. Most people are losing not because they lack talent, but because they never gave themselves permission to act like a winner. They're stuck in hesitation, overthinking everything, waiting for someone to tell them it's okay to go all in. But here's the truth: winners don't wait. They don't ask for approval. They move with purpose. They train their mindset daily. They speak to themselves with belief. And they show up like the outcome depends on them, because it does. If you've been moving through life like you're still trying to figure it out, this message will wake you up. It's time to act like you were meant to win. Not next week, not when things get easier. Right now, starting today, because nothing changes until you do. Chapter 1. Act like the person who's already made it. You have to begin living like the person who already got what you want. Not someday, not when it's perfect. Now. See, that's where most people fall behind. They wait until they feel ready. They wait until someone gives them permission. They wait until they're confident. But the truth is, confidence doesn't show up first. Belief doesn't knock on your door. Success doesn't walk in and hand you an identity. You have to act like it's already yours before the world ever agrees with you. People walk through life hoping things will change. They hope things will get better. But winners don't wait on hope. They decide who they want to become, and they start living that way long before they get the reward. Why? Because when you carry yourself like you already earned it, your choices match your future, not your past. Your habits start lining up with your vision. Your time gets protected. Your effort becomes intentional, and slowly, everything around you starts to change because you changed first. This isn't about pretending or faking. It's about choosing to live at a higher standard, even before life starts clapping for you. You act like the person who's already made it, not because you're trying to impress someone, but because that's the level of respect you're finally giving yourself. That's the mindset shift. That's when things start moving. You see, people are always asking, how do I feel more motivated? Or how do I build confidence? The answer is simple. You act like you already believe in yourself, even if you don't feel it yet, even if no one claps for you, even if your results don't match your vision yet. You still show up like someone who's serious. You still move like someone who's not backing down. You wake up and carry yourself like you've got something valuable to protect, because you do. Your future is worth protecting. Your time is worth something. Your effort means something. The person who's already made it doesn't waste hours doing nothing. They don't blame other people. They don't keep telling the same sad story about why things didn't work out. They adjust. They learn. They keep showing up, even when it's boring, even when it's lonely, even when no one sees it. That's how you separate yourself. You stop waiting to feel different. You start behaving differently now. Think about this. If you already had the life you wanted, how would you carry yourself? How would you speak to people? How would you treat your health? How would you handle your money? How would you respond to failure? You wouldn't fall apart every time something went wrong. You wouldn't make excuses. You wouldn't waste energy on things that don't matter. You'd be focused. You'd be firm. You'd be calm and clear. Now ask yourself, why not live that way now? Why wait until the win shows up to become who you were supposed to be? The truth is, the win doesn't create the identity creates the win. Success follows alignment. When your actions match your vision, progress becomes a habit, and that's how real transformation happens, not overnight, but choice by choice. You start honoring your word. You start following through. You stop needing someone to cheer you on before you move. That's how the strong are built. The people you admire didn't start strong. They didn't wake up one day with everything figured out. They just decided to stop acting like they were trying and started acting like they were becoming. They didn't need approval. They didn't need permission. They just needed a reason, and that reason came from inside. That's what you need to tap into. If you want to be respected, start respecting your own goals. Start respecting your own voice. Start respecting your time like it matters. If you want to be seen as someone with value, act like you have value. If you want to win, act like it's possible. That doesn't mean life won't test you. That doesn't mean you won't fall. But when you fall, you'll get back up with direction, not confusion, because you know where you're going. Too many people are walking around carrying a broken identity. They're stuck in the past. They keep reminding themselves of the mistakes they made. But if you keep dragging your past into your present, you will never build a future. You have to decide, that version of me is done. That mindset is over. That old story doesn't run this life anymore. You write a new story with your actions, not with words, not with plans, with choices, with effort, with courage. The person who's already made it doesn't need to yell. They don't need to convince others. They don't need to be loud or flashy. Their actions speak. Their life becomes the proof. You can get there. You can build that. But it starts today. It starts when you stop lowering your standards to match your feelings and start raising your actions to match your future. How you dress, how you walk, how you speak, how you work, it all sends a message, not to the world first, but to yourself. Every time you choose to act like the person you want to become, you're telling your mind, we're already there, now act like it. Eventually your life begins to reflect that belief. Your environment changes, your friends change, your habits upgrade, your peace grows. Why? Because you stopped living like you were behind and started living like you belonged. There's a level of life where excuses don't exist, only actions do. You've got to make it personal. If you want your life to change, it has to matter to you, not your parents, not your friends, not the people watching, just you. You've got to look in the mirror and say, I'm done living like I'm trying to catch up. I'm done apologizing for wanting more. I'm done acting like I don't deserve it. That's where the shift begins. You want to make more money. Show up like someone who handles money well. You want better relationships. Start showing up with emotional maturity. You want discipline. Act like someone who respects structure. You don't get those things by talking about them. You get them by being that person now, before the rewards come, before the praise, before the applause. And yes, it's hard. Yes, you'll feel uncomfortable. Yes, it will feel strange at first, but that's because you're stretching beyond what's familiar. That discomfort is growth trying to reach you. Don't run from it. Build through it. This is the season where most people shrink, but you, if you decide, you can build, you can rise, you can become. No one hands you the crown. You have to act like you've already earned it, not to fool anyone, but to lead yourself. Because the truth is, no one will believe in you harder than you need to believe in yourself. And the most powerful belief doesn't start with words. It starts with action. You want to win? Then start walking like it. Start talking like it. Start living like it. Today. Because when you act like you were meant to win, life starts responding like you actually will. Chapter 2. Move like your future depends on today. Every single thing you want tomorrow is shaped by what you do today. That's not just a phrase, it's the truth people often ignore. Most people treat today like it's disposable. They wake up, they drift, they waste time, and they think they'll figure it out later. But winners know something different. They know that every move they make today either pushes them forward or holds them back. When you truly understand that your future depends on what you do now, you stop moving slow, you stop wasting hours, you stop dragging your feet, you start treating each day like it counts, because it does. There's a reason why most people don't grow. They keep living the same way, expecting things to change. They complain about not having results, but spend most of their day doing things that don't build anything. That's the mindset you have to walk away from. You can't move through life casually if you want to create something powerful. You have to show up with urgency, not stress, not panic, but purpose. You move like someone who understands time is not unlimited. You move like someone who knows that every decision today creates the direction you go next. Think about it. If your future self could walk into the room and watch you right now, would they be proud? Would they see someone who's serious, focused, committed? Or would they see someone playing small, making excuses, waiting for motivation to show up? You can't live like the future is a maybe. You can't keep pushing things off and expecting your goals to wait for you. You either take control now or keep living in circles, and the world won't wait. The world responds to those who take themselves seriously. So take yourself seriously. You have to move with energy, with purpose, not just when it's easy, not just when someone is watching, but every day, on the quiet days, on the days where no one claps, on the days you feel tired, uncertain, and uncomfortable. That's the real test. Anyone can act focused when things feel good, but the people who win, they move like their future is watching, because it is. They know one skipped workout, one wasted hour, one lazy choice adds up. And it's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional, about understanding that what you choose now shapes what's possible later. You don't need motivation to act like your future depends on this moment. You need clarity. You need to decide that who you're becoming matters more than how you feel right now. You need to look at your habits and ask yourself, does this build me or break me? And if the answer is that it breaks you, then it's time to make a real change. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Your goals don't care how you feel. Your vision doesn't grow when you procrastinate. Your potential doesn't wait for you to get in the mood. It rises when you rise. And that's where real transformation begins. When you start moving with urgency, even when no one is pushing you. When you wake up and make the bed, not because it's fun, but because it's a signal to yourself, I'm in charge today. When you eat right, study, work, train, speak up, follow through, not for attention, but because you are serious about your life. You can feel the difference between someone who's living on autopilot and someone who's chasing something with their full attention. The energy is different, the discipline is different, and so are the results. You don't get a better life by thinking about it. You get a better life by moving like it matters. You get there by doing the hard things first, by turning off distractions, by telling yourself, this time I'm not quitting, and then proving it, not once but daily. People will always have excuses. They'll say they don't have time. They'll say it's not the right moment, but you have the same 24 hours. The difference isn't the hours, it's what you do with them. The people who move like their future depends on today are not perfect. They get tired, they get frustrated, but they don't stop, because they've made a decision. Their future matters too much to waste time pretending they'll figure it out later. You don't need more inspiration. You need more action. You need to stop talking about it and start proving it. You need to move even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, because discipline isn't built when things are easy. It's built in the moments when you'd rather quit. It's built when you're tempted to scroll, to delay, to break the promise you made to yourself, and you say no. You stay focused. You move anyway. One of the most powerful things you can do for yourself is to create structure, not rigid routines you can't breathe in, but clear standards that protect your time and energy. Wake up at a certain time. Set your priorities before the world pulls you in 10 directions. Check in with yourself. Are you doing what actually matters? Or are you just staying busy and calling it progress? Moving with purpose means trimming the waste, saying no more often, cutting the distractions, honoring your word, and showing up even when no one gives you a pat on the back. And if you fall off, if you miss a day, don't waste more time beating yourself up. Just reset, take a breath, get back to it. Winners don't stay down. They don't quit over one bad moment. They bounce back because they know their goals are bigger than their emotions. You don't need to feel ready. You need to decide that today matters, because the truth is, your future isn't promised, but it is being built, and it's being built by what you do now, not what you plan, not what you hope for, what you actually do, how you actually move. So start moving with clarity. Walk into the gym like you're becoming your strongest self. Sit down to study like your future depends on what you learn. Take care of your health like it's the foundation of your power. Speak with confidence like your voice belongs in the room. Do the work like no one's coming to save you, because no one is. You've got to make today count, not for others, not for the image, for you, for your own growth, for your future family, for the life you know you're capable of creating. That's what separates people, not luck, not talent, movement, daily effort, the willingness to take action when it's not convenient, the ability to make hard decisions now for an easier life later, the mental strength to say I'll go one more round when most people stop. You don't rise by accident, you rise by effort. You build momentum by being consistent, not once, but over and over again. So if you're serious about becoming the person you keep imagining, move like it, carry yourself like your future is being recorded, because it is, and when you finally arrive at that version of you, strong, clear, capable, you'll know one thing for sure: it wasn't luck, it was your discipline, your focus, your choice to move like today mattered, and it does, it always did.
Chapter 3. Decide what you want and go get it now. Most people stay stuck because they never decide. They talk about change, they think about change, they even wish for it, but they never decide with full commitment. They sit on the fence too long. They overthink. They look for signs. They wait for someone else to push them. But the truth is, nothing moves in your life until you do. Nothing changes until you decide exactly what you want and start moving toward it, like nothing else matters. And if you're serious, you need to decide today, not tomorrow, not next week, not later. Now, deciding what you want is the first real power move in life, because when you don't decide, life decides for you. Other people pull your time. Circumstances shape your path. You drift, you settle. But when you make a decision, everything sharpens. You get clear. You start seeing what needs to go and what needs to grow. Your actions get tighter. Your focus gets stronger. And suddenly, you're not just existing, you're building, you're moving on purpose. You're no longer available for the things that drain your time or distract your mind. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you have forever to figure things out. Time won't pause for you. Opportunity won't wait around. You've got to get honest with yourself. What do you really want? Not what people expect from you. Not what sounds good on paper. What drives you? What feels like it was meant for you? Don't let fear water it down. Don't let doubt push it away. Be specific. Be bold. Be real. The clearer you are, the easier it becomes to walk in that direction without hesitation. When you make that kind of decision, you stop entertaining things that don't match it. You stop giving energy to confusion. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't even understand your vision. That's what strong decision-making does. It simplifies your life. It filters out the noise. It helps you cut faster, build better, and move with intensity. And here's what most don't understand. Deciding isn't the hard part. It's sticking with it when the work shows up. It's pushing through when things get uncomfortable. But if the goal matters, you don't back off when it gets tough. You push deeper. You adjust. You learn. You fight smarter. You don't give yourself an easy way out just because things don't go perfectly. Winners stay locked in. They remember why they started. They remember what's at stake. You can't reach big goals with a part-time mindset. You can't live an uncommon life with average habits. Once you decide what you want, you've got to go after it like you're the only one who sees it. Because often you will be. People won't always understand. They might laugh. They might doubt. That doesn't matter. What matters is whether you believe it's possible, and if you're willing to work for it when nobody claps, when no one notices, when it's just you and the next step. Going after what you want doesn't mean forcing it. It means being relentless about the process. It means showing up for yourself. It means doing the uncomfortable things that move you forward. Some days you'll feel on fire. Other days you'll feel off track. But the commitment stays the same. You don't quit just because it's inconvenient. You don't wait for permission. You don't shrink yourself just because progress feels slow. You rise anyway. You push anyway. You stay on the path. You don't have to know all the answers. You just have to be clear on your direction. Start there. Start by cutting out the distractions. Say no to the things that don't match the life you're building. Protect your energy like it's your currency, because it is. Be around people who lift you, not drain you. Use your time to build skills, not escape problems. Take small steps daily that pull you closer to where you want to be. This is how you take control of your life. This is how you stop feeling stuck. You make a choice and back it up with consistent effort. And when your focus slips, you pull it back. When doubt shows up, you talk to it straight. You don't let your fear run the show. You let your vision lead the way. You speak to yourself with clarity and power. No more, "I'll try." No more, "We'll see." It's time for "I'm doing this," and then doing it. The reason why most people stay average isn't because they lack talent. It's because they never fully commit. They leave the door open. They always have a backup plan. But here's what I've learned. When you give yourself too many options, you move slow. You hesitate. You second guess. And that hesitation costs you. If you want to move fast, if you want to build momentum, you've got to burn the backup plan. You've got to put everything behind your decision. That's how you break through. That's how you level up. Decide what you want, then align your life with that decision. Align your schedule. Align your habits. Align your thoughts. Align your environment. This is how you build power. This is how you stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. Every minute you spend confused, distracted, or indecisive is a minute stolen from your goals. Get those minutes back. Take your time seriously. Take your decisions seriously. Take your future seriously. And don't wait until everything feels perfect. There's no perfect time. There's no perfect plan. Life rewards those who act now, who move now, who say, "I'm starting with what I have," and then go all in. Don't let fear convince you to stay still. Fear gets louder when you stay stuck. But it gets quieter when you move. Every step forward makes your doubt smaller. Every action builds momentum. That's how you start winning. By doing the work before you feel ready. By choosing growth over comfort. By being consistent instead of chasing hype. So many people will go their entire lives without ever knowing what they could have been, because they never made the decision. Don't be one of them. Don't live in the gray area. Don't waste years being halfway in and halfway out. Be all in, even if it's scary, even if no one claps for you yet, even if the results take time. You're not doing it for applause. You're doing it because your life matters. Your future matters. And no one else is going to build it for you. It's not about being fearless. It's about choosing action over hesitation. It's about waking up and saying, "I'm not going to live small anymore." It's about choosing yourself, even when it feels like no one else does. That kind of decision changes everything. It sharpens your focus. It strengthens your mindset. It shifts how you show up in the world. So don't wait. Don't stall. Don't ask for permission. Make the decision. Lock it in. Write it down. Speak it out loud. And then move. Build. Adjust. Push. Learn. Stay with it. You've got something valuable inside you, but no one's going to bring it out for you. You've got to decide you're done wasting time. You're done living small. You're done acting like it doesn't matter. Because it does matter. You matter. Your effort matters. And the second you decide what you want and move toward it with full energy, life will start to shift. Not all at once, but piece by piece. But it starts with one decision. Make that decision now, and don't look back. Chapter 4. Stop waiting and start building your real life. There comes a point in your life when you have to stop waiting. Waiting for the right moment. Waiting for more motivation. waiting until you feel ready. That waiting becomes the trap. It makes you believe that you need more before you can begin. But you don't need more. You need to start. You need to get honest about what's holding you back and face it. Because the more you wait, the more your life stays on hold. And time doesn't care if you're unsure. It keeps moving, with or without you. If you want a better life, you have to start building it today. Most people live in delay. They keep saying, "I'll do it when things slow down," or "I'll start when I feel more confident." But days pass, weeks pass, sometimes years pass, and they're still in the same place. Not because they're not capable, but because they never got serious. They stayed in planning mode. They stayed in dreaming mode. But life isn't changed by dreams alone. Life is changed by decisions followed by action. The longer you wait to begin, the further you drift from the life you could be living. You have to decide that you're done wasting time, that you're done watching from the sidelines while other people move forward. You don't need more information. You don't need more advice. You need to act. You need to pick a direction and move with purpose. Not perfectly, not fearlessly, just with commitment. The person who succeeds is not the one with the perfect plan. It's the one who starts, sticks with it, and grows along the way. It's easy to make excuses. You can tell yourself it's not the right season, not the right job, not the right partner, not the right energy. But deep down, you know when you're stalling. You know when you're hiding behind comfort. And the longer you sit there, the more used to it you become. You get comfortable in waiting. You get numb to progress. And slowly your standards drop. Your belief shrinks. You convince yourself that maybe this is all life has to offer. But it's not. You don't find your real life by watching others live theirs. You find it by building, by stepping up and doing the things you know you've been putting off. You show yourself that you're not just going to talk about change, you're going to live it. And yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. Building is hard. It takes focus. It takes showing up when it would be easier to rest. But that's the only way you grow. That's the only way you build something that lasts. Start where you are, not when everything is perfect, not when you feel fully ready. Start with what you've got. Start with the tools you already have. Waiting for the ideal setup is a lie. Your mind tells you to keep you safe. But safety doesn't build anything. Growth does. Taking one step, even when you're unsure, that's what builds the next step. And then the next one. That's how real progress happens. You build it block by block, not all at once. And don't expect someone else to build it for you. No one is going to hand you your dream life. No one is going to wake you up and say, "It's time." That moment belongs to you. You've got to want it enough to take full responsibility. You've got to look in the mirror and say, "I'm done watching. I'm done waiting. I'm done doubting." You take the energy you've been wasting on hesitation and you put it into action, into focus, into discipline. You'll never feel fully prepared. That's the truth. But you don't need to be. You learn as you go. You grow through action. You sharpen your skills by using them, not studying them forever. The people who make real progress in life are the ones who stop overthinking and start doing. They stop needing approval. They stop asking for perfect conditions. They just decide that they're not okay with staying where they are. And that decision lights the fire. Every day you wait, your future gets further away. The life you want isn't going to show up at your door. You have to go meet it. You have to chase it down with energy and direction. You don't have to be the best right now, but you have to be consistent. You have to show up. You have to stop letting minor things become major blocks. That excuse, that doubt, that fear, don't let it run your life another day. And don't tell yourself that one more day of rest will fix everything. That's the trap. You rest for a day, then it turns into a week. Then it becomes a pattern. Before you know it, you've built a habit of waiting. And habits are powerful. They shape how you think. They influence how you move. And if your dominant habit is delay, you'll never feel alive. You'll always feel behind. So change that habit. Replace waiting with doing. Replace fear with movement. Replace distraction with purpose. There are people out there building with less than what you have. They didn't wait for the green light. They didn't wait for the perfect mood. They got up and got to work. They failed. They fell. They got rejected. But they kept going. That's why they're ahead. Not because they were lucky, but because they built momentum while others stood still. You have to want it enough to stop delaying. You have to care enough to do something about it. You have to believe that your life is worth more than comfort and routine. That you're meant to create, to grow, to contribute something real. This world doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards courage. It rewards consistency. It rewards the person who gets up every day and says, "I'm not done yet. I'm still building." Your future doesn't begin someday. It begins when you stop waiting and start showing up for yourself. It begins when you turn off distractions. When you take your mornings seriously. When you plan your days like they matter. Because they do. Every single one of them is a chance to build a life you don't have to escape from. A life that reflects your values, your vision, your effort. And you don't need to go fast. You just need to move. One good decision today. 1 hour of deep work. One hard conversation. One bold step. That's how you build a real life. Piece by piece. Hour by hour. You string together enough of those, and one day you wake up and realize you're not stuck anymore. You're not waiting. You're living. You're growing. You're building something that belongs to you. So ask yourself, what am I still waiting for? What excuse have I been leaning on? And then drop it. Trade it for effort, for action, for progress. Because the only thing standing between you and your real life is the decision to start building it. Right now.
Chapter 5. Show up every day like nothing can stop you. There's a certain strength that comes from consistency, from showing up again and again, no matter what's going on around you. Most people think motivation is what keeps them moving, but the truth is, it's discipline, it's belief. It's a decision you make every single morning to act like nothing can stop you. That doesn't mean you're never tired. It doesn't mean everything's easy. It means you've made up your mind that giving up is not an option. That showing up matters more than how you feel. That you're not going to let one bad day define your direction. People want results, but few are willing to show up for them when life gets uncomfortable. They show up when it's convenient, when the mood is right, when it feels exciting. But that's not where progress is built. Progress is built in the days you feel invisible, in the moments when you're discouraged, unsure, and still choose to keep moving forward. Every time you show up when most would quit, you build strength, you build identity. You teach yourself that you can be counted on, and that belief compounds over time. When you carry yourself like nothing can stop you, it changes your energy. It changes your focus. It changes how people see you, but more importantly, it changes how you see yourself. You stop questioning every step. You stop waiting for someone to validate your effort. You stop dragging your feet. You stand tall. You move forward. And you mean it. Because you know deep down,
You've been through enough already. You've seen what wasting time feels like. You've felt the pain of starting over again and again. And now it's time to rise above that. To move different. To commit for real. Most people think strength comes from never falling, but it's the opposite. Strength comes from rising every time you fall, from showing up again even after a setback, from refusing to be broken by the things that were meant to slow you down. You become powerful when your consistency is louder than your excuses, when your mindset is stronger than your fears, when your actions speak louder than your words. You can't wait to feel unstoppable. You have to choose it. You have to get up when it would be easier to stay still. You have to push when it would be easier to pause. You have to train your mind to show up like your goals depend on it, because they do. Your life changes the moment you stop negotiating with discipline. When you stop letting your feelings decide your actions. When you rise every day and say, I'm going all in, no matter what's happening around me. There's something powerful about doing what needs to be done without being told. You don't need an alarm. You don't need someone to remind you. You don't need applause. You've set your own standard, and now you live by it. Day after day, whether you feel like it or not, whether anyone notices or not, you do the work because the life you want requires it, and you respect yourself too much to keep falling back into old patterns. Every day you show up, you're stacking wins, even if they're small. You're proving that you're not here to take shortcuts. You're not here to get by. You're here to win. You're here to lead yourself, to outwork your old habits, to push past the noise and get something real done. You may not see the results right away, but don't let that fool you. Growth is happening. Discipline is being built. Character is being shaped. Every day matters. Every choice matters. And yes, there will be setbacks. There will be moments when you feel tired, distracted, even discouraged. That's part of the process. But those moments aren't reasons to stop. They're reasons to lean in harder, to remind yourself that nothing can stop you unless you give it permission. No excuse, no delay, no fear has the power to defeat you unless you let it. And once you understand that, your strength becomes real. It becomes untouchable. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. You just need to make the choice every day to give your best, to stay in it, to stay focused. That's how winning is done. Not by hype, not by luck, but by showing up with a fire inside you that says, I'm not here to play small. I'm here to build something that lasts. The world doesn't owe you anything, but your future is watching everything you do. Your habits are shaping your next level, and the way you show up today is creating the standard for who you become tomorrow. Don't just go through the motions. Bring intensity, bring clarity, bring purpose. If you say you want more, prove it. Not once, not when it's easy. Every day, that's where the breakthrough lives. People around you might not understand it. They may not see the pressure you're under, the weight you carry, the battles you fight silently. But that's not their job. It's yours. You're not doing this for attention. You're doing it for growth, for your future, for your own pride. And that means you move with purpose, even when no one's cheering for you, even when it's lonely, even when the results take time. Your actions need to reflect the level of life you're chasing. That means you stop settling. You stop making weak choices. You stop letting the old version of you control your current reality. You upgrade how you think, how you plan, how you respond. You show up like someone who's done playing small, like someone who's serious about rising to the next level. That's the version of you that wins. The one who's clear, the one who's present, the one who doesn't flinch when things get tough. They stay locked in. They rise early. They train hard. They focus deep, and they don't let noise distract them. They protect their energy. They value their time. They don't chase approval. They chase progress. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't move slow. Don't scroll your morning away. Don't let your emotions run your day. Stand up. Get focused. Start your day with fire. Show up like nothing can block your path. Like every step matters. Like you're building something you'll be proud of. Because you are. And one day, that version of you, the one who stayed consistent, who stayed strong, who kept going when others quit, that version will thank you. You're not here to stay average. You're not here to fit in. You're here to rise, to build, to lead yourself, every single day, with full energy, with clear intention, with a mindset that says, try to stop me. Because when you live like that, nothing can. Chapter 6. Train your mind to believe you can win. Winning starts in the mind before it ever shows up in your life. You can't expect to live like a winner if your mind is trained to think like someone who always doubts themselves. Most people don't fail because they aren't smart or talented. They fail because they've never trained their mind to believe they can actually do it. They don't see themselves as someone who wins. They carry fear, self-doubt, hesitation, and insecurity into every decision. And that mindset becomes a wall between them and the life they want. You have to break that wall. You have to go inside your thinking and shift it piece by piece. This isn't something that changes in one day. It takes effort. It takes honesty. It takes consistent attention, because every day your mind is being shaped by what you allow in, what you focus on, what you repeat, what you accept as true. If you've been feeding it negativity, comparing yourself to others, focusing on what you lack, then of course you're going to feel like winning isn't for you. You've trained your brain to expect the worst. That has to stop. You need to build a new way of thinking, one that supports your goals instead of attacking them. And it starts with awareness. You have to pay attention to what you say to yourself, not just out loud but silently. The thoughts that run in the background, the voice that speaks when you make a mistake or when something goes wrong. Do you lift yourself or beat yourself down? Do you problem solve or panic? Do you say, I can handle this, or this always happens to me? These patterns shape your identity. They create the blueprint your life follows. To train your mind to believe you can win, you have to take control of that inner voice. You have to interrupt the negative patterns and replace them with truth. Not empty affirmations, not forced positivity, but real grounded truth. The truth that you've overcome more than you give yourself credit for. The truth that growth is always available if you stay in the fight. The truth that effort over time changes everything. That kind of thinking doesn't come naturally. You have to create it. It begins with small intentional habits. When you catch yourself doubting, you challenge it. When you feel like giving up, you remind yourself why you started. When your fear says, what if I fail, you respond with, what if I figure it out? This isn't about lying to yourself. It's about building a mindset that doesn't fall apart when pressure hits. Because pressure will come. Stress will come. Setbacks will happen. The difference between people who win and people who give up isn't talent, it's mindset. The winners prepared mentally. They expected resistance. They trained for it. Mental training means you don't let your emotions take over the steering wheel. You feel them, but you don't let them run your day. You still show up. You still move forward. You still do the work. That kind of discipline starts to rewire your brain. You begin to trust yourself. You stop needing everything to go your way. You build grit. And grit is what keeps you going when motivation disappears. You also have to control what you allow into your mind from outside. The conversations you have, the media you consume, the people you surround yourself with. If everything around you is negative, sarcastic or draining, it will affect you. That energy gets into your system, and over time it weakens your belief. That's why you must protect your mental environment. Feed your mind with thoughts that challenge you, grow you, strengthen you. Read, listen, learn, but more than anything, reflect. Ask yourself what kind of person you're becoming. Ask yourself what you're reinforcing each day. Are you reinforcing fear or courage, doubt or confidence? Your mind can either be your weapon or your weakness, and that depends on how you train it. Start each morning with a mindset check. What are you focused on? Are you thinking like someone who's ready to rise or someone who's waiting to fall? Are you preparing to lead yourself or hoping someone will show up and fix everything? No one's coming to do the mental work for you. It's on you. And don't confuse confidence with arrogance. Confidence is quiet. It's the belief that you can figure things out even if you don't have all the answers right now. It's not pretending you know everything. It's knowing that you can learn, that you can improve, that you have something valuable to offer. And that belief gets built every day through action. When you keep your promises to yourself, your mind starts to trust you. When you follow through on what you say you'll do, your self-respect grows. And the stronger that foundation becomes, the harder it is for doubt to shake you. Train your mind by setting standards. Don't accept every thought that pops into your head. Question it, test it. Is it helping you move forward, or is it holding you back? You don't have to entertain every fear. You don't have to believe every limitation. You have the power to change your thinking. But that requires repetition. Just like you train your body, you train your mind. Daily, relentlessly. And don't wait until things fall apart to start this work. Start now, before the storm comes. Build your mental strength like it's your armor, because it is. The world is unpredictable. People will doubt you. Circumstances will challenge you. But if your mind is steady, you can handle it. You can keep going. You can think clearly when others panic. You can adapt when things shift. That's the kind of belief that makes you unshakable. No one is born with this mindset. It's built through pain, through trial, through daily decisions to rise instead of retreat, through moments when no one is watching, and you still choose discipline, through failures that you use as fuel instead of reasons to quit, through a quiet, steady refusal to be defined by anything but your own effort. You don't need to feel strong every day to be strong. You just need to make choices that support the life you want, over and over again, until your mind stops doubting and starts believing, until your thoughts match your goals, until your energy lines up with the future you're building. Train your mind like it's the most important tool you own, because it is. You can lose everything else. But if your mind is strong, you can rebuild. You can recenter. You can rise again. The win begins in your thinking. Every decision, every response, every day. So decide now. Decide to feed your focus. Decide to question your fears. Decide to lead your thoughts, not be led by them. The world will test you, but your mind can keep you grounded. It can keep you sharp. It can keep you in the fight when others drop out. But only if you train it. This isn't about perfection. It's about control, mental control, emotional control, direction. It's about reminding yourself every single day that winning is possible, that you're built for more, that you can get there. Because once your mind believes it, your actions follow. And when your actions follow, results come. Slowly, then faster, then fully. You don't need permission to think like a winner. You just need to start training. Right now. Chapter 7. Stop hiding and step into your own power. You were never meant to live small. You were never meant to shrink yourself just to make others comfortable. But somewhere along the way, you started holding back. You stopped speaking up. You stopped taking the lead. You started hiding pieces of yourself because it felt safer, because you thought if you didn't take up too much space, maybe you wouldn't be judged. Maybe you wouldn't fail. Maybe you wouldn't have to deal with pressure. But that hiding has cost you. It's cost you confidence. It's cost you growth. And now it's time to take it back. It's time to step into who you really are, not the version watered down by doubt or fear, but the version that knows they were built for more. The version that knows they have something real to offer. You don't need to wait for someone to validate you. You don't need a perfect background, perfect timing, or perfect support. What you need is the courage to stop playing beneath your potential, because no one's coming to tell you when it's your time. You have to choose that. You have to claim it. And you claim it by showing up fully. Hiding might have protected you from criticism, but it's also kept you from opportunity. Playing it safe might have saved you from discomfort, but it's also kept you from strength. The longer you stay in the background, the more disconnected you become from your own potential. You start believing that maybe you're not ready. Maybe you don't have what it takes. That's the lie fear tells you. And you've got to stop listening. You've got to stop agreeing with it. Stepping into your power doesn't mean pretending to be someone you're not. It means owning who you really are without apology. It means saying what you believe. It means doing the work even when it's hard. It means being visible, showing your effort, taking responsibility, not blaming anyone else, not waiting to be rescued, but standing up and saying, "This is my life, and I'm taking full control of it now." You can't control what people think. You can't control what they say, but you can control how you respond. You can decide to stop holding your voice back. You can decide that your future is more important than their opinion. You can decide that you've played small long enough. This is your time. This is your window to take the lead in your own story. Every day you choose to stay small is a day you give away your own influence. A day you keep your ideas locked up. A day you let your doubts win. And it doesn't feel good. You know that. You feel the weight of not living fully. You feel the tension of holding back. That's not weakness. It's a signal that it's time to rise. A signal that it's time to stop hiding and start building. Start speaking. Start leading. Start becoming. You can't wait to feel fearless. Fear doesn't disappear before you take action. It fades when you act anyway. When you stop making excuses. When you stop editing yourself just to avoid attention. When you walk into the room like you belong there. Because you do. That's what stepping into power looks like. It's not loud. It's not arrogant. It's quiet confidence. It's consistent movement. It's a firm decision to stop denying what you're capable of. You've been given something unique. A voice. A gift. A perspective. Hiding it doesn't help the world. Playing small doesn't protect your future. Your real strength shows up when you use what you've been given. When you stop second-guessing. When you stop asking for permission. The people who win in life aren't the ones who avoid mistakes. They're the ones who decide to stop hiding and take control of their progress. There's a version of you that's stronger than the one you've been living as. You've seen glimpses of it. The moments where you speak up, where you take action, where you don't hold back. That's the real you. The one who's capable, the one who can lead, the one who doesn't run from responsibility, the one who has vision. But to live as that person every day, you have to start owning your choices. You have to start thinking differently. You have to stop settling for anything that keeps you small. You won't get stronger by avoiding pressure. You won't grow by staying quiet. Every time you do the hard thing, you reclaim a part of your power. You rebuild trust with yourself. You build a life that actually feels right. Not one that just looks good on the surface, but one that feels aligned. That kind of life doesn't come from hiding. It comes from showing up in full truth, in full responsibility, with full energy. You can't lead others until you lead yourself. You can't teach confidence if you're still running from your own. And you can't expect life to give you more if you're not willing to stand tall and ask for it. You have to make the first move. You have to go first. Be the one who speaks the truth. Be the one who sets the standard. Be the one who rises when others settle. That's what it means to step into your power. Start by telling yourself the truth. Where are you shrinking? Where are you avoiding? Where are you letting fear make your choices? Be honest. Call it out. And then shift it. Take one step in a new direction. One bold decision. One real conversation. One moment of clarity. That's how it starts. Not with a massive breakthrough, but with one moment of courage repeated over and over again. You don't need to prove anything to anyone else. Just prove it to yourself. Show yourself that you're not going to keep living like you're powerless. You're not going to keep waiting for someone to invite you to the next level. You're going to step into it. Fully, authentically, boldly. And when you do, your life begins to change. Because you're no longer living in reaction. You're living in intention. There is no one who can take your place. No one who sees the world exactly like you do. And that matters. You matter. Your energy matters. Your choices matter. So stop hiding. Stop playing down your value. Stop underestimating what you bring to the table. You've got more in you than you've shown the world. Now's the time to bring it out. Fully. With commitment. With fire. Every moment you choose to own your power. You move forward. You shift your identity. You rewrite your story. Not based on fear. Not based on what people think. But based on truth. Based on real work. Based on who you were always meant to become. The world doesn't need more people playing small. It needs more people fully alive, fully present, fully leading. Be one of them, starting now.
Chapter 8. Handle hard days like winners always do. Everyone has hard days. No one is immune to setbacks, stress, or pressure. But the people who win in life don't crumble under them. They respond differently. They don't look for someone to fix it. They don't waste energy complaining. They handle the tough moments with composure, clarity, and commitment. That doesn't mean they don't feel anything. It means they don't let those feelings decide their future. They stay focused. They stay grounded. They stay in motion. You don't need to be superhuman to handle hard days like a winner. You just need to be trained. Trained to keep your head clear when everything feels messy. Trained to stick to your standards even when your mood tries to lower them. Trained to not let one bad moment turn into a bad day or a bad week. That kind of training doesn't happen by accident. It happens by choice. Every time you respond to discomfort with discipline instead of drama, you're building that training. You're learning how to face life without running from it. Winners don't expect everything to go smoothly.
They know difficulty is part of the process. That's why they prepare mentally. They expect resistance, and because they expect it, they're not shaken by it. They don't take it personally. They don't assume something is wrong just because it got hard. They understand that hard is normal, but quitting is a choice, and they don't choose it. They find a way forward, even if it's slow, even if it's quiet, even if no one sees them struggling through it. They still keep moving. You have to stop seeing hard days as a reason to fall apart. Start seeing them as the days that define who you are. When everything is easy, anyone can stay motivated. But your character is revealed in the tension. How you act when your plans break. How you carry yourself when you don't feel like yourself. How you move forward when you're discouraged. Those are the moments that separate the serious from the casual. You don't get stronger by avoiding struggle. You get stronger by facing it directly. Not with panic, not with blame, but with the mindset of a builder. Someone who sees the difficulty and says, "I'll still show up. I'll still do what I said I'd do." That kind of mindset is rare, but it's what creates real progress. If you can stay disciplined on the worst days, you'll win over time. It's not always dramatic. It's quiet. It's showing up when no one notices. It's sticking to your habits even when they don't feel exciting. On a hard day, the goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to not disappear, to not give up everything you've worked for because you had a bad hour or a bad mood. Winners adjust. They don't erase. They simplify. They lower the volume, but they don't turn off the engine. They know that consistency beats intensity in the long run. That's why they show up in some way no matter what. A small step forward is still a step. And this isn't about ignoring your feelings. It's about not letting them run your schedule. You can feel heavy and still act strong. You can feel overwhelmed and still stay present. You can feel unsure and still do the next right thing. That's what mental strength is. Not pretending you're fine, but being intentional with your response. Winners don't wait for motivation. They move with structure. They don't depend on moods. They rely on routines. They don't always feel confident, but they show up confident because they made a decision, and they're not going to break it just because the day got tough. You have to build systems that support you even when your energy drops. You have to design your days so that when things fall apart, you still know what to do. A strong morning routine, a clear set of priorities, a plan for how to deal with stress before it arrives. These things give you an anchor, so when the storm hits, you don't spin out. You stay grounded. You stay productive. You stay steady. It's also about having the right self-talk. Most people break down because their inner voice turns against them. One thing goes wrong and they start saying, "I can't handle this. I always mess things up. Maybe I'm not meant for this." That voice is the real enemy, not the challenge. You have to talk back. You have to tell yourself the truth. You've been through worse. You've overcome things before. This is not the end. This is just a test, one that you're equipped to handle. When you learn how to talk to yourself with strength, everything changes. You stop being reactive. You stop spiraling. You start rising. You coach yourself through the hard days. You remind yourself of your goals. You simplify your expectations and just focus on doing the next right thing. Winners aren't better than anyone. They've just trained themselves to lead their emotions instead of following them. And part of winning on hard days is not doing it alone. You need to build a support system that respects your mission. People who remind you of your strength when you forget it. People who don't let you stay in a negative headspace for too long. That kind of circle makes a difference. But even when you don't have that, you can still lead yourself. You can still choose a strong response. Because even if no one is watching, your future is. You have to treat every hard day like it's still part of the process, not a break from it. You still hydrate. You still move your body. You still protect your time. You still do something that moves you forward, no matter how small. That kind of consistency creates pride, and pride creates momentum, and momentum is what pulls you through the dark days and keeps you building when it would be easier to stop. You have to believe that hard days don't erase your progress. They reveal it. They show you how far you've come. They give you a chance to prove to yourself that you're not controlled by comfort, that you've got something deeper in you than just convenience, that you can be tired and still move, that you can be frustrated and still focus, that you can face pressure and still rise. And when the day ends, you don't beat yourself up for feeling off. You thank yourself for showing up anyway. You acknowledge the effort. You give yourself credit, not for being perfect, but for being present, for refusing to let the day break you, for choosing progress when it would have been easy to disappear. That's what winning looks like behind the scenes. So when the next hard day comes, and it will, you'll be ready. Not because it's easy, but because you've trained for it. You've built the habits. You've mastered your response. And you know exactly what to do. You show up. You stay focused. You keep your word. Because that's what winners do. Every time, no matter what.
Chapter 9. Talk to yourself like someone who's unstoppable. The way you talk to yourself is one of the most powerful forces in your life. Not the voice you use with others, but the one that speaks when no one's listening. That voice can build you up, or it can tear you down. And for most people, it does more damage than they even realize. They speak to themselves with doubt, with fear, with criticism. They repeat every mistake in their head, like a broken record. They talk to themselves like someone who's already lost. But if you want to become someone who can't be stopped, then you need to start speaking to yourself like someone who's unstoppable. You've been through too much to keep speaking to yourself like you're weak. You've overcome more than you admit. You've had days you didn't think you'd get through, but you did. That alone proves something. It proves you're still standing. It proves you're not finished. And it proves you're stronger than that voice in your head that tells you you're not enough. You can't afford to speak small anymore. You can't keep repeating old beliefs that don't belong to you. Somewhere along the way, maybe you picked up the habit of talking yourself down before someone else could. Maybe you thought it would protect you. Maybe you thought it would keep you safe from failure or disappointment. But all it's done is limit you. It's blocked your confidence. It's slowed your progress. And it's time to break that habit for good. Winners speak to themselves with strength, even when they feel weak. They don't lie to themselves, but they don't beat themselves down either. They talk with direction. They talk with purpose. They say things that keep them focused, that keep them calm, that keep them moving. They speak in a way that fuels their progress instead of draining it. They don't wait to feel powerful. They talk like they already are. And then they act like it. That's where the shift happens. Start paying attention to what you say when you're under pressure. What do you tell yourself when things go wrong? When you mess up? When you feel behind? Are you lifting yourself or blaming yourself? Are you coaching yourself through it or criticizing yourself for it? That moment right there, that's where most people lose their strength. Not because the problem is too big, but because their words weaken them. They give up before they even try again. You have to interrupt that pattern. When you hear yourself slipping into doubt, stop. Don't let those words keep running. Replace them. Remind yourself what you've already handled.
Remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself of your ability to adjust, to learn, to recover. Your words create your mindset, and your mindset shapes every decision you make. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not ready, that you're not built for this, that you're going to mess it up again, you'll prove it true. Not because it's your fate, but because your belief shaped your effort. Your self-talk must match the level of life you're trying to reach. That means talking like someone who takes ownership, someone who's not afraid of pressure, someone who trusts their ability to figure things out. That's how you lead yourself, with words that move you, not words that trap you. You don't need to yell to be powerful. You just need to be clear. You need to speak with truth, with discipline, with intent. Every morning, start your day with a reset. Speak the kind of words that bring you back into focus. You don't need a speech. You just need to hear your own voice say, "I'm showing up no matter what. I'm not letting today slip. I've got more in me than I've been using." And when your mind starts to drift back into fear, don't judge it, redirect it. Say, "That's not how I think anymore. That's not who I am anymore. I choose to lead today. I choose to act with strength, not fear." These words matter, even when they feel small. They build internal habits. They shift your energy. They make it easier to take the next step, even if the next step is uncomfortable. This isn't about pretending everything's fine when it's not. It's about talking to yourself in a way that makes you strong enough to face what's not fine. It's about reminding yourself that setbacks don't break you, that mistakes don't define you, that growth doesn't happen in silence. It happens when you challenge the voice that tries to keep you quiet. You have to decide what kind of voice will run your mind. The one that keeps you scared, or the one that builds courage. You've heard the first one for long enough. Now it's time to practice the second one. You won't get it right every time. You'll still slip into old thoughts now and then. But the more you catch it and correct it, the faster you build new patterns. And those patterns become who you are. This is how winners build their identity. They're not born with some special mindset. They practice speaking like someone who won't be broken. They remind themselves every day that effort matters, that mistakes are lessons, that fear is temporary, and regret lasts longer. They tell themselves the truth, even when it's hard to hear. They speak with discipline because they know their thoughts shape their emotions, and their emotions shape their actions. So talk like you believe in yourself, not because everything is perfect, but because you're committed to growth. Talk like you know where you're going, like your goals are serious, like your future deserves your full energy. Don't make space for self-pity. Don't leave room for self-doubt to take control. Speak like a leader, like a builder, like someone who takes responsibility for their life, even when no one hears it, even when it's only in your own head. Your words matter. They are not background noise. They are instructions. Make sure you're giving yourself the right ones. Make sure you're telling the story that helps you rise, not the one that makes you shrink. You can become unstoppable, but it starts here, with how you talk, with how you think, with how you carry yourself when no one's watching. That's where the work begins. And if you keep doing it, if you keep showing up and using words that build instead of break, you'll start becoming someone who truly can't be stopped. Because belief will no longer be a feeling. It'll be your default setting, your foundation, your way of life. Chapter 10. Live each day like you're proving a point. Every day is a chance to prove something not to the world, but to yourself. It's a chance to prove that your words mean something, that your effort matters, that your mindset is stronger than your circumstances. Most people move through life like it doesn't count. They float through the day with no urgency, no edge, no fire. They talk about what they want, but they don't live like they mean it. But the people who win, they treat each day like it's a stage. Not to impress, not to seek attention, but to prove they're serious. To prove their goals are real, to prove they're not here to waste time. Living like you're proving a point doesn't mean you walk around with ego. It means you carry purpose. It means you wake up and move like your actions are connected to something bigger. You don't sleepwalk through your routines. You don't go through the motions hoping for change. You make change happen by the way you move, by the way you work, by how you show up when no one's checking on you. That's what builds power. When you live with that level of intent, everything starts to sharpen. You stop settling for average conversations. You stop giving energy to things that drain you. You stop wasting time on people who don't respect where you're going. You protect your focus. You protect your energy. You protect your standards, because now you're not just living to get by. You're living to grow, to evolve, to rise into the next version of you. And you don't need to tell anyone that. They'll see it in how you operate. Every time you get up early and follow through on your plan, you're proving a point. Every time you do the hard thing when it would be easier to take the easy way out, you're proving a point. Every time you say no to the things that used to slow you down and say yes to the things that lift you higher, you're proving a point. That point isn't about being better than someone else. It's about being better than who you were yesterday. You've spent enough time living casually, enough time giving half effort, enough time hoping things would fall into place. That chapter is over now. This is where it gets real. This is where you take your progress personally. This is where every choice becomes a reflection of your standard. Not because someone's watching, but because you're finally taking your life seriously. You can't live like you have forever. You can't keep pushing things off for someday. That's how people lose decades. They say, "I'll get serious when I'm more ready." But readiness doesn't come from waiting. It comes from movement. You get ready by getting in motion. You build belief by doing the work. And the more you do, the more confidence you build, not because of the outcome but because of the process. Living like you're proving a point also means you stop complaining. You stopped explaining. You stop trying to convince people of your value and start living in a way that makes it obvious. Your consistency will speak. Your habits will speak. Your results will speak. That's how you silence doubt, not with arguments but with evidence. And that evidence gets built one decision at a time. You wake up tired, but still train. That proves something. You follow through when the spark is gone. That proves something. You speak up when it would be easier to stay quiet. That proves something. Every action tells a story, and every day you have a chance to make that story stronger. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real. Real effort, real decisions, real discipline. And when you start stacking that, day after day, you become undeniable, not in words but in character. You also stop being emotionally driven. When you live like you're proving a point, you don't let feelings make your decisions. You don't say, "I don't feel like it today," and use that as an excuse. You say, "I've got a goal, I've got a reason, and this day matters." You treat each morning like a starting line, not a reset button. You get up with clarity. You move with conviction. Because when it's all said and done, you want to look back and know you gave everything you had, that you didn't hold back, that you didn't waste time doubting yourself. You also understand that every little thing matters. The way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you listen, the way you handle frustration, the way you handle success. You don't cut corners. You don't relax your standards when things get hard. You rise to the moment. Because that's what it means to live with purpose. That's what it means to prove a point. Not once. Not when it's easy. Every single day. And the beautiful thing is, when you live like this, you change. You start building a reputation with yourself. You start building pride. You stop second-guessing because your actions match your vision. You walk into rooms with quiet confidence, not because you're better than anyone, but because you know you've earned your growth. You've earned your clarity. You've earned your momentum. You no longer need external rewards to stay consistent. You're not chasing trophies. You're chasing progress. You're chasing the version of you who keeps promises, who doesn't get swayed by pressure, who doesn't need a crowd to perform. You become the kind of person who leads from within. That's what separates the real ones from the talkers. The doers don't need a spotlight. They build when it's dark. They train when it's hard. They push through when no one's cheering. Because the mission is personal, and the proof is in the way they live. Every day you wake up, you have two choices. Go through the motions, or move like you've got something to prove. Not with arrogance, not with ego, but with quiet strength, with purpose, with focus. Don't waste another morning drifting. Don't waste another afternoon wishing. You've got work to do. You've got progress to make. And it starts the moment your feet hit the floor. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need permission. You just need to decide. Decide that from now on, you're living like every day is a message. Not for the world but for yourself. That you're not playing small anymore. That you're not sitting back anymore. That you're going to live like your future depends on it. Because it does. So get serious. Get consistent. Get focused. Start speaking with clarity. Start moving with purpose. Start cutting distractions. Live each day like it's an opportunity to prove how far you've come and how far you're willing to go. Because once you live that way long enough, you won't just be proving a point. You'll be making one. And no one will be able to deny it. Not because you said it, but because you lived it.